got to remember something. It's always better just to serve, not let the pressure get to me. It's always in my heart to serve, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I let that pressure get to me, and I try to push it. It's always better just to be me, serve the folks around me. Hey guys, this is David Dixon, A&P Pressure Washing, aka Wash and Clean. I want to share our journey from taking a small family-owned and operated service business into the best darn cleaning company in Middle Georgia. Woohoo! Things are moving. Actually, I'm getting kind of excited because I'm having to hire more people, and I just wanted to tell you about something that happened to me yesterday that I thought was really cool. And honestly, one of the reasons that I'm talking about it is because I need to remember it myself. And I was walking through a neighborhood. We'd already passed out some flyers there and already done some work in the actual neighborhood. Went back through and started talking to some of the homeowners to let them know that we had already worked on several of their neighbors' houses, and we're just asking if we could help. So knocked on the door. Nobody came to the door. Left a flyer on the door saying, we're in the neighborhood doing some work for some of your neighbors, please give me a call back. And went around to the other side of the house to go to the next neighbor's house. And when I did, the homeowner was actually sitting with his son out on their driveway, and we're just chatting. And the house is green now. As I walked up to the house, it looked like he grew corn on the side of the house. But so I said, well, I just left you a note on the front of the door. Let me bring that back. He said, what are you doing? I said, we're pressure washing. He goes, and I said, I noticed the house is getting kind of green. He goes, yeah, I got two strapping boys that could do this. This one did it a few months ago. And I said, well, you did it a few months ago. He said, yes, sir. So, all right, well, can I ask you? I said, he said, let me guess. I'm trying to remember exactly how the conversation went. He said, let me guess you're going to quote me around 300, a little over 300. And I said, yeah, that sounds about right. He said, I got two strapping boys that did it. One of them did some of it a few months ago. And I said, oh, that's fine. I totally get it. If you've got the time and young boys that can get out here and do it, totally got you. I understand why, you wouldn't hire somebody else out to do it. And I took a step back, and then I thought, well, what did y'all use to actually get it clean? Because if he did this a few months ago, it shouldn't be looking like it looks right now. I mean, it should be looking a whole lot better than the green that it's showing on right now. So he said, well, we just used some detergent and pressure washer, and we got it looking pretty good. I said, yes, sir. Did you use anything to kind of kill off the green? He said, no, not really. I said, that might be why it's back so soon. So anyway, we get to talking, and I went out of salesman mode, totally, completely out of salesman mode, and went straight into expert mode, I guess you could say it. And I've been doing this for 14 years. I know exactly what it takes to get this stuff gone and to make sure it doesn't come back so quick. So I start telling him a piece of advice. I asked the son who was sitting there, how long did it take you to do? Oh, it took me a couple of days. And this is not a very big house. So I said, how long did it take you? Oh, a couple of days. All right, well, let me guess, you did this and this. Yeah, that's what we did. Let me give you a little piece of advice. If you'll use a little bit of bleach in your concoction, and I started giving him some real specifics on what he could do to actually do the work himself. And that kind of took them back. I mean, you could see their shoulders relax. You could see the way that they handled themselves, the way they talked to me, the way that I talked to them. The conversation just totally changed. And I went into actually helping them try to figure out exactly how to do this the best with the equipment that they had. And they said, yeah, I know your equipment you could probably, do a lot more than we could. And I said, yes, sir, I can actually hit 3 stories from the ground. He's like, with extension wands? I said, no, sir, I've got some better equipment than that. And we don't ever have to get up on ladders, not usually, unless there's something we just can't see or reach. And he's like, oh man. So I was giving him more advice. I just stepped back into helpful mode. Next thing I know, he goes, you know what? This thing really hasn't been done right. We've never actually been able to get the second story because once you get up on the roof and the roof gets wet, it gets kind of slippery, and that showed another problem where they got problems with the roof. So anyway, we start walking around the house. And as we're walking around the house, he starts showing me areas that he has cleaned that look pretty good, and then some other areas that they've never been able to touch in like 10 years. And it's obvious. I mean, like I said, it looked like you grow corn on the side of the house. So at that point, he starts saying, well, maybe we should have somebody come out here and do it really, really well. And I said, yeah, I tell you what, if we come out here and we do it really, really well for you, it'll only take this amount of time, only this amount of money, but you guys should be able to maintain it a whole lot easier now that we've got done a deep clean on it. So, that makes sense. Ended up getting a sale out of it. But I think sometimes in this type of business we get too salesy, and honestly I do too. I'll get into a place where somebody will turn me down or come up with some kind of objection at the door, and I'll try to sell my way into it. I can feel it in my gut. I may not even sound that salesy to them, but for some reason something happens inside of me. And you know what I like doing more? Helping. I like the help. I actually enjoy. I would rather turn down a job and feel like I helped somebody. Now, I know that doesn't help my bottom line, but honestly, it seems to come back and help me so that I can actually keep my heart right and focus on serving people instead of just trying to get their money, because that's not my heart at all. Like, I really do want to serve, and I think I talked about that in the last podcast that I did, is I really do want to serve. So that's really where my heart's at. That's where I feel the most comfortable. And honestly, it seems to be that's the place where I bring in the most business, is from a place of servanthood to where I'm actually trying to serve them and do what's best for them. And I got a friend of mine now who's actually helping me, coaching me with the business, and he talked about that he had some employees, if they ever tried to sell somebody something like an upsell or something that they didn't need, they would instantly be fired. And I thought that was great, because it really does put the responsibility back on us to be able to actually offer value instead of just trying to get a check. I don't want to get a check and just leave. I want somebody to enjoy their experience with us, somebody to actually see that we've been a benefit to them. And you know what, that really stood out to me. I wanted to make sure that my heart stays in that same place. And that's what's been on my heart today. It's like, I like that feeling. I like the feeling of knowing that I'm serving the people around me. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons we're growing. I think it's one of the reasons that we're having to hire people. And I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm really excited about this. I really am. I'm really excited about where we're going to be able to get to go with this. Probably more so than I'm letting on, which is good. Which is good. All right. Thanks for listening. This is going to be a journey that's going to be all over the place, and hopefully you get some value out of it to help you out. But see you next time.